How to stop being a pussy. Listen, success comes at a price. A lot of people want to have success. They want to have greater businesses. They want to have more income. They want to have the lifestyle, but they're not willing to put the work in, be resilient. How many people do you know that are constantly complaining over and over again about this isn't working, that's not working, that's not working? There's a difference between like people who actually make it. You hear the talk about top 1%ers, right? They get there by overcoming challenges. We have like, when we want to grow, we've got to have a certain level of growth. There's going to be things in our way that are going to either block our success, right? Push us forward, or we're going to find out a way how to figure out how to bypass whatever's going on. Anybody who's actually achieved massive financial success, have you found that they always have a story? There's always something that went wrong with them. There's always like some like troublesome times they went through. Maybe they wiped out, cleaned their finances, were bankrupt. This happened, that happened. Their business partner robbed them. The most successful people have been through so much crap. And yet, the people who look on Instagram, look at people's lifestyles and look at Lamborghinis and helicopters and jet sets and people that are making all sorts of money, look at them thinking that it's easy. Listen, I'm going to be the first one to tell you that it's not easy. You got to develop courage and you got to develop this resilience. Millionaires are made up of something totally different. Multimillionaires, billionaires are made up of a different type of a setup, a mindset, not just a mindset, but there's so many different traits that these people have. And I look at my own story going back, and when I was broke, when I was in debt, when I was trying lots of different things, when I was behind on my bills, I was in debt. I'd like the bailiffs coming to cut my electricity off. I know what I went through. I know the challenge that I had. I saw what was going on in front of me, but I didn't allow that to deter me from my dreams. Now, most people they have a dream, but it's not even a dream. They have a rough idea of what they want to do. They get motivated by, I want to be a millionaire. I want to earn my first 50,000 or 100,000. I want to earn $1 million a year. But do you have the attitude of someone who earns $1 million a year? I want you to look at your goal right now. What is it? Is it 10,000? Is it 20,000? Maybe you're thinking about starting up your own business and you've been there for the last 10 years. Think about your attitude right now towards yourself. Think about what excuses do you make over and over again that you can't do something. When an obstacle comes in your way, something happens that you didn't expect to happen. The biggest client drops off. This client drops off. What happens to you? You look in your bank and you're not making the money that you want to make. Listen, the makeup that makes up millionaires and multimillionaires is something that you've got to grow into. There's so many different traits. You've got to have resilience, persistence, determination, desire, hunger. I can go on and on and on. But most people have a hunger that's very short term. They have a hunger until something goes wrong, until they face an undesirable circumstance. There's a phrase, right? If you can't find the circumstances, you create them. And we create them for our own thinking. I look at a lot of people, I speak to a lot of people who say they want to do something, who play a big game, who talk a big game, but are not willing to put in the work that's required with it. The amount of times I've heard excuses, right? Excuses tell you a story. Excuses tell you exactly where someone's plugged in and what they're capable of doing with that mindset. Yes, I used to make a lot of excuses back in the day, but then I had to cut my own bullshit and figure out, hey, listen, all of this stuff that's happening on the outside, I can actually control. My finances, I can control. I can control the temperature of my life. I can control what happens in my life. Now, you'll say, well, you can't control everything. Some things may be out of your control, right? Certain things are, right? But you can adapt. You can find a new way to overcome that. You can bypass certain things that are going on. Think about your own mindset. Do you have what it takes? Look at your actions. It will tell you a lot about yourself. Look at your attitude. Look at your relationships. Look at how you tolerate yourself and other people. Do you have high standards? I was talking to somebody yesterday and we're talking about high standards. There's high standards and there's being too picky. Is having high standards and being too picky the same thing, or is it not? It's a great topic. Like, I've got extremely high standards, right? Fussy is the word I was looking for. Are you fussy or do you have high standards? I'd say I'm fussy. Yes, I am fussy about things, right? But at the same time, I make fast decisions. So you can be fussy about something. So you know what? Nah, I'm not doing it. I'm not having that. I want to do X, Y, and Z. So are you fussy? There's nothing wrong being fussy, right? But there's something wrong when you don't take a decision at the other end of that fuss. How many times have you trying to do something? You've been trying to maybe put a campaign together. Maybe you're working on a project and nothing seems to be working. And your mind's all over the place. You're seeing all the reasons why it can't be done. Look at Elon Musk, some of the things that he's had to go through. all the problems and challenges that he went through. Anybody that's ever achieved anything, whether it's someone who writes music, an actor, an actress, a business owner, a politician, whoever it is that's at the top of the game, I can guarantee you that they've had their own fair share of challenges. But you've got to give up the excuses. You've got to give up all the reasons why you can't do something. I look at my own journey and I remember like people talking behind my back. Like when I was going to America, spending all this money on coaching, mentorship and stuff. And a lot of the people that I knew, they had nice cars, finance, nice holidays, designer clothes, right? Lavish lifestyles. I didn't have none of that. But did I complain about not having that? Absolutely not. Where people were wasting their money, I say wasting money, right? Because they weren't really like, they're wasting money on shit just to look good, right? Look at me, I've got a fucking LV this, I've got Dior bag, or whatever it is. Versus now, I can have anything that I want because I overcame like that need to like feed the social ego. That, we used to have street cred back in the day. I call this social cred, social media credibility. How many times have you seen someone, they'll see a nice car out there, right? And they're taking just pictures outside different things. Like, look at me, I'm living this luxury lifestyle, giving off this false persona. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But what I'm saying is people can be so fake. Then you can have anything that you want. You can have results or you can have excuses. You can't have both. You can't have both. You can either have the excuse or you can have the result. I chose to give up my excuses so I can have the result. Where are you stuck at right now? Are you stuck? Maybe you're stuck in like a semi-excuse, like there's a whole bunch of reasons why you can't do something. Are you a complainer? Think about it. I want you to start monitoring yourself, how you act, how you conduct yourself, how you around with your staff. Are you one of those people that's you got a team of people around you and all you're constantly doing is complaining, right? To your customers, to your clients. A house business, it's really slow, it's really down. How many times have you heard somebody complaining about that? People don't want to hear that. They don't give a fuck if it's down or not. Oh, really? I know. Never ever tell a client that business is slow, right? You got to have a different mindset. You got to cut out the shit, right? You got to start operating from abundance. Now, if you're telling everybody it's quiet, right? Guess what you're telling your subconscious mind? It's quiet. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to have more quiet periods in your business, okay? Yes, you might. I'm not saying don't be aware that it's quiet. Business is a bit slow. Don't be aware, but ask yourself, what can I do about this, right? Your customers don't come to you, so why don't you go to them? What can you do to bring in new business to you, right? Instead of being dictated by the lack of clients, lack of business, lack of this, that, and the other, complaining. Complaining is one of the most unattractive character traits someone can have, because when you're constantly in complaining mode, guess what? You're in a fucking shit frequency. You're in a shit energy, and you're going to push away things that are on their way to you. All the good stuff, right? You're going to start to repel it. You're going to start to repel your clients. When was the last time that you were around someone who was really down on their luck? They're really like, you could see it, their face was so fucking sad, right? And that all they was doing was being consumed by this energy. It's not an attractive thing to be around, right? And it's not. You can snap out of it just like that. Listen, don't get me wrong. I have moments, right, where sometimes I catch myself off guard. I'm kind of semi-complaining for a split second in my own mind. I never verbalize it. And I say, hey, stop right there. Stop right there and stop being a fucking pussy. I tell myself, I give myself a talking to. Over the last couple of days, I've had some coaching calls with some of my clients and I've been fucking raw. And that's my style. Okay. I'm not one of these people to give you just, oh, everything's going to be right. Just chill, calm down. I call people out. I call people out on their bullshit because sometimes people just need to be told, stop being a fucking pussy and get on with it. Right? The amount of times I've had to talk to someone on the coaching call and give it to them, tell them a new one and tell them in a way by email, by message. But they come around and say, you know what, Mindy? No one was brave enough to fucking tell me, right? Because look, when we're in the industry that I'm in, a lot of coaches out there trying to like really like arse lick their clients. Like, it's going to be right. Chill, it's fine. Listen, you're paying me money. I want to get you results. I want to make you feel uncomfortable until you want to puke, right? It's my job. You hired me to do this, right? So I always say my policy is, listen, if you can't take a telling off, if you can't take an arse whooping, right? If you can't take being told how it is, don't even bother applying for my coaching, because I want you to win. And sometimes you've got to stop people's own BS getting in their way. Maybe you need to be told something sometimes. Tell yourself that. Be okay. Have a policy with your partner. Say, listen, if I start chatting shit, if I start being a little bitch, a little pussy, tell me that I'm being a little bitch, I'm being a little pussy. I remember on one of my posts in my Facebook group, Mind, Money and Business, if you're not in there, you want to get in there, right? I remember I wrote a post, don't be a pussy. And this woman replies, Mindy, and that's a disgusting term, right? And she got so offended. And I said to her, listen, if you're offended by me using that word pussy, right? A pussy cat being a pussy, right? I think you should leave. Okay, you're in my house telling me how to behave, right? This is how I am. If you're offended by this is the wrong community for you. So please leave. Now, I'm very raw like that, and some people might think I've got an attitude problem or I've got an ego problem. You can think what you want, right? And I said this in one of my trainings the other day. I said, look, you can like me, you can hate me. I don't really care if you like me, you hate me. I'm not here to be liked. I'm here to do my job, which is to help you overcome your own BS and get you the results that you want, right? Not everybody's going to like everybody. There's probably people that don't like you, and it's probably you have a dislike towards other people, certain types of personalities. And that's okay. Listen, everybody's different, right? I get that. I'm not the coach for everybody. I'm not the mentor for everybody, right? So that's all cool too, right? Because what's the point of being like universal? I want to appeal to a select group of people like yourself because you're here on the podcast. And with this manifestation space, one thing that really annoys me is, it doesn't even annoy me. I disagree with a lot of the stuff a lot of coaches say when it comes around manifesting. Just be calm, don't swear, you shouldn't swear. It's very aggressive, don't do that, it's horrible. Listen, it's horrible, yeah? So is tripping up in the middle of the street. But that's how I am, that's who I am. I can't change it, I don't want to change it. I remember Bob used to say, if I want to be free, I've got to be me. Not the me you think I should be, not the me my wife thinks I should be. If I want to be free, I've got to be me, and I better know who me is. Okay, and I'm happy with who I am. I don't want to change anything, apart from maybe a couple of inches on my height, right? But I'm happy with the way I am. This is the way I am. When I first got into the coaching business, I was trying to emulate Bob Proctor. I was trying to have this calm personality, like speaking differently, calmly, and it just didn't sit right with me. I'm not saying like I love Bob to bits, but that wasn't me. That was who Bob is, and I admire him. And I try to incorporate certain parts of his demeanor, his personality into my own personality. But I can't be. I speak really fast. I have an aggressive tonality. I'm straight. I'm raw, and I can't hold things back. And when I had one of my team say to me, like, Mindy, that call that you did the other day, you were yourself, and the people responded to you different. I remember like lots of different trainings I've done when I'm myself, my authentic self. Like you have your authentic self of your own version of you. When you're your authentic self, you're at your most powerful. You have people that are trying to put on another persona, but people can see through that. Subconsciously, they feel kind of off about you. So I want to be raw. That's who I am, and I enjoy that. Do I do it to be like horrible to people? No, absolutely not. I just feel like this is my style. This is where I'm most effective, right? Calling people out for their shit. And I don't like excuses. I can't deal with it, right? Sometimes we get some long-ass emails from people that are not doing the work, not studying, and they're complaining about results. And normally my response, my response is, if I'm dictating the email to my assistant, I said, say this, right? Say, well, do the fucking work then in an email, right? No, you can't say that. We can't say that. That's not right. Now, let me put it my way. No, put it my way. I want to be me all the time. Whether it's by email communication, where I'm sending somebody a DM, I don't want to beat around the bush. Someone's got to be told. They've got to be told. Okay. One time someone actually told me as it was, and I really appreciate that. And I had so much growth from that. Instead of people like, wrapping me up in cotton wool, telling me everything's going to be right, just chill, relax. When I got told about myself, that's when things really happen. And I'm so glad that somebody had the integrity, the honesty to actually tell me and call me out. Because if you can't tell someone straight out, right, I don't believe that you have integrity, because you're just kind of sugarcoating things for that person. So I have integrity that I actually want to tell you, like, for your own sake, not to put anybody down, but to actually tell you, to inspire you to shut that noise down. All right, cut your own BS out and listen to me. Sometimes you have to bypass their own BS, their own internal dialogue, and tell it as it is. And I always tell people, if you can't fucking do the work, you don't deserve to win. Bob used to say that. He used to say, if you don't do the work, you don't deserve to win. If you're not willing to invest in yourself, you don't deserve to win. We only get one chance at this life. Stop taking the piss. Stop fucking buying into your own bullshit. Stop being a pussy. Nothing wrong with that, right? It kind of breaks my heart when I see someone who's got so much potential, right? And they just so in their own way. And I'm like, just get the hell out your own way and just clear that shit that's going on and go do something with your life. Complaining. You can either complain, make excuses, or you can have results, not the two in one go. So which one are you? Have you been complaining about being down in your luck? You're looking at your results, they suck. Maybe you're pissed off with things that ain't happened. Maybe you've been waiting on this big deal and it's fallen through, and all of a sudden your attitude falls through. Your attitude, like people can feel amazing when things are going great, right? When things are going good, when the money's coming, when business is good, the clients are coming in, everybody can be good, feel good at that time and place, right? But it's when the chips are down, the shit's hitting the fan, that's when you got to be in control of yourself. This is what makes millionaires. This is what makes people or breaks people. And you can see what happens. So it's going to either make you or break you. And this is a test. I observe my clients and people in general. Like I see what happens when things are not going their way. If they're going to cry like little bitch, they ain't going to go nowhere. I know exactly where they're heading. They're heading for like a downward spiral. Those people who have that say, you know what, fuck this, bring it on. I'm going to challenge this. I'm going to have this. I've got this. The people that are willing to fight and put up a fight and not back down. So you know what? I've got this. Yes, this is happening, but I've got determination. I believe in myself. I'm not going to fold under these pressures, under these situations. Those are the ones who actually win. And I look back at my own traits where I was and I see what's made me. And I compare myself to lots of people who are there where I was and their attitudes and their own nonsense. And I can see that some people are not going to make it. And on the other hand, I see people that have resilience. I can have a bunch of clients that have done that when shit's hit the fan and really bad. How they've actually responded. You can either react or respond. When you react, you lose control. When you respond, you're in control. There's a difference between reacting and responding. I always look forward to a challenge. People don't like challenges. When something goes on in life and business, right, and especially with your finances, a lot of people are so disheartened. They're so dampened by what's happened. I can't believe that just happened. Just can't believe that just happened. I saw somebody who didn't make a sale like last week or 2 weeks ago, and her face, right, when she didn't make a sale, her face dropped. I'm like, what's the matter with you? She goes, oh, I was hoping on this client coming on. It's going to be a nice sizable project for me and my team, and it didn't come on. And I was on Zoom and face was like, come on, fix your face. Come on, fix up your face, your attitude. Then only you're going to attract good into your life, right? So I want to leave you on this one thing, right? This one thing I'm going to say, don't be a pussy. Go make it happen, right? You can either have excuses or you can have results. You can't have both. So which one do you pick? I'll see you on the next one.